moments later.
Cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go, but I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry left in the rain. I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go. I'm watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry left in the rain. Yeah, I don't mind the path that I had to walk, and I don't mind all those words that I had to talk, and I don't mind all those flings that I had to fling, and some of those words I spoke I just had to sing. I just had to bring the best that I had to give, and being tested by these blessings that I had to live, changing dressings on the scars that I had within. It's a daily operation, you just gotta grin before it gets too grim and life pins you in. You gotta think like a shark and show your fins, whether alone in the dark or with an audience. Believe you're the hottest commodity since the iPhone lobotomy. You follow me? I'm hoping probably. I'm talking openly and don't know where the road could be. The crosshairs, the red dot, or the poison drip. So take a message from this song, that's all I have to give. I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go, but I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry left in the rain. I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go, but I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry left in the rain. They leave you in the rain, then hang you out to dry. I wonder how so many people get by. And then one day you wake up and start to realize that anyone you know could be called up at any time. Can't press rewind, can't flip the tape, so might as well not live in the past and dwell on hate. People talk strange shit to get to the gate, and if you know me well, you know I call them doors of fate. I take what I need, but not too much. I never open the door if the handle was hot to the touch. You gotta find an alternate way out of the flames. They want you in the spotlight, they want you just to take the blame, but all the same, it's like a wheel with these fucking hipsters. Instead of more rappers, we could use more active listeners. But I don't mind that a lot of things actually happen, cause I'm a music slave and this is what I'm coming strapped with. Cause I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go, but I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry left in the rain. I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go, but I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry left in the rain. I don't mind being out in the cold, and I don't mind not knowing where to go, but I mind watching faces in pain, seeing them cold and hungry left in the rain.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Indoor Farmer. It's a generic term. It means all people who could be an indoor farmer, right? It's not just me. But tonight, you guys, we have a special episode, a special day. It's right before Independence Day. Tomorrow, we are going to take tomorrow off, so we might get into it a little bit today. I did make a little quick video for you guys, just so we clear all the housekeeping. It's Monday, 7/3/2023, everybody. Make sure that I put it in here. I don't think I did, actually. So we have, obviously, we always have our awesome co-host, Sir Steve-O, with us. And, uh-oh. I'm not seeing my video now, you guys. Of course, it's always something. It's always something. Anyway, we're going to get to it in just a minute here. I really thought I had it ready. I guess not. Hopefully, all you guys are having a good weekend so far, and this is our sort of an extension to the weekend. Give me just a second, Sivo. I'll pull you up. I really wanted to play this before we got going, and now it's not here. Now it's not here, of course. Give me, you guys will like it. You guys will like it. We do have a special guest tonight. He was able to come in at short notice. I appreciate that for sure. All right, now where is it? It just disappears on me. All right, awesome. Well, I'll play it later. Why not? Export that. That's awesome. I love it that things like that happen every time. I love it. Guys, we got Sir Steve-O here. Steve-O, sorry, man.
No,
really
it's all
it was
good.
going to be good stuff. It's going to be good. I promise. You guys will like it.
Oh yeah.
It's not that good, but it's good enough to play for our Independence Day episode, basically, right? Basically. We're also kind of waiting for folks to get up in here, getting some people. We got Leaf Cycle in the house, got Jimmy, you got Maui, Chuck Rock. What's up, everybody? Please hit those reactions for us.
Hey,
Even though I'm having some difficulties, it's open file. Where did it go? It went to. Okay, there it is. Jeez. All right, guys. Now we're going to play it before we pull our guest up tonight. That was very annoying. I thought I had everything ready to go. You know how that goes, right? Everything ready, and then boom, something comes up. Here it is, guys. Happy Independence Day, everybody. All right, let's pull up tonight's guest. And again, I want to see some hearts and some fires in the comments for our guest because he was able to make it last minute. Thank you, guys. All right. Andy, how are you, brother?
What's up, guys? What's up?
Guys, this is Andy Cantrell. I've met him once in person, and so we don't know each other a lot, but we're going to get into that later. As you guys know, we always get into that interview portion in a little bit, but we're gonna pelt him with some questions, find out what he knows. I know he's in the grower community, and we're going to get his opinion anytime he wants to chime in tonight until we talk to him later. So I do have a video. It's pretty short. We're going to pause it a lot because I have a lot of things going on, even though it's not a lot of footage tonight. And of course, you got what, Steve-O, what happened?
Oh, shit.
You got Mr. Wilson over there.
What happened
I thought he was just pretty proud of the picture.
I swatted out a fly and I knocked the camera. Damn fly.
Man. So I apologize, guys, about that little slow down in the beginning there, but I wanted to make sure I pulled the video up. I guess I never uploaded it. Anyway, point is, please hit those reacts for us tonight. I'm going to put my video up now. So as you can see, this is my outside, Steve-O. These are those 3 plants. I don't know if did I tell you? I think, oh, there, get it. You need to get a good, like an actual fly swatter.
Yep.
or a bug zapper. That would be fun right behind you, bro, on screen on like a live stream. Wouldn't that be badass, guys? Tell us in the comments. Wouldn't you like to see a fucking bug zapper behind Steve-O's shoulder there, just every now and then, like make him jump? That would be badass. That would be awesome. But anyway, Ronaldo, yeah, this is a really junky setup. Basically, this is the little portion of my yard where I get some sunlight. It's a homemade fence, not homemade, but like I put all that up myself. You guys see that ladder in the corner? That ladder is holding up the corner of the fence. Like that ladder is the fence. So it's pretty funny. Yeah, it keeps the dogs in for now until I get a full one up there. But those 3 plants, Andy, were volunteers from last year. The one on the left, the big one, obviously, is the most healthy. But all 3 of those just came out of plants I had sitting. Like they were a couple feet above the ground, Steve-O. So whatever they were seeds that just fell off and survived the wintertime, and here they are, like thriving. Now
I have a spot where I did my outdoor, and every spring we find multiple volunteers throughout the yard.
Yeah,
it's a nice little treasure hunt, actually.
I didn't expect to do anything outside again this year. I wanted to cut way back on how many I was dealing with, but these are doing well. I don't have to do much to them. I did give them a couple good coats of Prime Superior. This one in the middle, it was transplanted, Steve-O. That was the smallest one I had to transplant. Now, you guys see all the junk around everything? It's me trying to keep the dogs away from my plants. Like, yeah, just stay on this side of the PVC pipe. That one is getting huge, man. Like the upper leaves are, once we pan over and look at it again, the upper leaves are skinnier than the fat leaves on the bottom. Is that normal? Has anyone seen that? It's almost like it's reacting to the sunlight differently on top than it is on the bottom. Now, here we go. We'll pause it. So, like, you got a lot more fatter leaves on the bottom. I guess maybe that's just new growth. New growth leaves are smaller.
Yeah.
Hi, Denise.
Yeah.
Vegas Wade has a question here. So when you grow outside, how do you put your plants into flower mode? You don't. You let them bitches get as big as they will get until they will naturally flip on their own, Vegas Wade. I mean, unless you're in Vegas, you may not. You should have a seasonal change. I don't wonder how Vegas works, man. That the super hot part of the year might not be able to grow at all at that time. That's interesting, Wade. Though I would like to pick your brain sometime, because I mean it gets like 130 degrees over there. I wonder if people can grow cannabis outside
and dry. I bet it's dry too.
Very dry.
That's probably you're gonna get that heat with that dry. They don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say these are stretching a little bit because you can see that shadow. The sun is going towards that shadow on the other side of the house. So I only get about 12 hours of light a day. And they're sort of trying to reach, because the shadow slowly creeps up to them from the left to the right, and then slowly envelops the plant, as the sun is going down. So it seems like they're trying to reach a lot, but I mean, I'm okay with that because they still have months to go. Right.
That's going to be a treat.
So Jeff, the 12 and 12. So I was curious about this too. I thought, well, if I'm only getting 12 hours of light, are these plants are they going to flip to flower soon or early? And I guess everyone's saying, like Steve-O was telling me, that ambient sunlight and the actual weather outside, the actual season will keep that bad boy going, even though it's not getting, crazy amounts of light. The ambient light that's coming in.
Yeah, the only trick that I've ever seen for somebody outside to induce flower prematurely is I saw Hobbies. He puts a big shade over the top of a couple of his plants, and he induced flower pretty quick doing it that way. But it was a funky looking flower. It was funky looking, though. It looked like a beast. I don't know. It looked a little weird to me when it did, but he says it's growing great, though.
Huh. Go ahead, Andy.
As I've seen them guys, they pull that shade and they induce that dark early and have pull it over hoop houses and black the whole thing out.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you have to really cover it, I guess, is the only difference, because mine are covered. They're getting shade, but they still are getting a little bit of light.
No, they're not gonna. They're gonna follow the process of of. They're still in veg. They're getting way. They're still. They know that ambient light's there, just like he said.
Sure. I also have another problem. I should have gone back and talked about it first, but my neighbors on the other side of that fence, kind of towards where the ladder is, they have a garage light that's on every night. So I really don't know what I'm going to do about that, except for maybe every night erect a fucking wall, a plastic wall or something between them. Somebody suggested asking the neighbors if they would kindly, if I could buy them a green light bulb to replace their light for them.
Yeah.
That might be the best route there. Now, I left it on this picture because those two ladders, Steve, you know how I like to repurpose stuff.
I know what you're going to do with those.
Yeah, you know what I was going to do, but I decided I went ahead and actually purchased these racks. I'm going to put them together tonight towards the later part of the show. But I was going to take these two ladders and I was going to place like PVC pipes across them because I have some long PVC pipes. And I was going to make like shelving for my microgreens. I was going to sort of just create it out of nothing. But I went ahead and bought some shelving we're going to look at a little later.
Chuck Rock says, get a BB gun and practice.
Okay, so this is my smaller, like my starter setup, guys. This is what I've been sort of practicing and experimenting in for years now. And I have some issues with it. I'm still trying to figure out, and it helps me learn in a bigger scale. But yeah, I definitely have some problems with the. Now I thought it was pH. We're going to be looking at that in a little bit, but I haven't messed with the aquaponics system. But I checked the pH on my plants, Steve-O, and you're going to see them here after this picture. And the pH is fine. It's the parts per million. It's over 2,000. So they're getting newt locked right now. Now I stopped it here because you guys, my fish tank's getting crazy busy now. There's a ton of babies in there. So I'll be able to sort of upscale the nutrients amount, right? So that's basically my fertilizer. If you find any spider mites? No, leaf cycle, I didn't. So now I have found, okay, let me go back just a hair to that picture you just saw. I have found spider mites in here. Oh, in here, I keep them down with Prime Superior, which is basically just kind of keeping them at bay. It's not killing them. It's not making them fully go away, but it is keeping my plants sort of like they're sort of fighting that battle, you know. Yeah. They're trying. Again, I'm not worried about saving them necessarily. I'm trying to see if I can get them to come back for sure, but if it doesn't happen, one day I just have to cut them all out. I might. But you know, it is kind of gnarly if you look at them up close. Definitely got. I think they have nutrient burn a little bit too. Everybody was worried about nitrogen, but you guys got to remember, cannabis puts nitrogen back into the soil. So if it's in an enclosed system like this, I got to imagine that it might have too much nitrogen is my issue. And I haven't tested much on this. I do want to test it and stuff, but again, this is kind of how I just let things go, try them out, see what happens, learn the hard way on a small scale compared to like my cannabis plants, which are coming up next here, which also look like they're going to die. But again, the two plants you're about to see were clones of my strawberry banana. They weren't plants I really cared that much about. They are ready to flower, although other than the unhealthy part of them. So I need to get them back to health and then flip them and get them out of here. But yeah, they are nutrient locked, man. 2,000 parts per million. The pH was kind of low. It was around 6, but that's not, that shouldn't be enough to do what's happening here. It's my kind LED light right there. What's up, Elisa May? What's up, Jason? Jason, I'd like to get you up on the show sometime. If we could get you on his third chair, it'd be cool. But yeah, they definitely need to. I'm doing a flush, so I'm not doing a flush like a lot of people do the flush, where they would actually flush it all at once, because I don't really have a great place to do that. So I'm putting as much RO water through that will fill up the catch tray underneath, and then I empty the catch tray. Do a little bit more, doing like I'm letting them dry out in between. So it's going to be a little longer process than that real quick. Oh, wait, got to pause that. Did you guys see this? Now, if Leaf Cycle's still watching, I agree with them. We talked about this. It doesn't look professional, but it is me repurposing some materials. Somebody had this idea. You cut out these jugs, you put holes in the bottom, and then you pour water in the jug inside your pot. And so then it slows your watering process down quite a bit. And I thought that was awesome. It's a cool little
Wow.
repurposing project.
Yeah.
He is here, yeah. Well, and then I went ahead and did what he said, and he's like, be a man and just like pour slowly. It's like, all right, I could do that. He didn't say that part, but he did say you could just pour the
11 minutes per gallon is what they say. It takes 11
right.
minutes to water per gallon.
So watering slowly is a good idea. At least moving towards that little wizard shower. Okay.
They say the slower you can water it in, the more it absorbs correctly, and you don't have just the runoff through the pots.
That's right. It'll make its own way right to the bottom if you do it too quickly. It'll just be like little rivers, and it won't get half the plant. Yeah.
And then the main problem with that is then you have those roadways of aeration that become compacted, and that's when you get that soil that just feels like a rock on top.
Yeah. And then that's sense. Why I always come through and I break it up with my hands and stuff, because I usually water too fast probably. Now here's the next like little issue I had, you guys. Like, I've been putting off testing my water and stuff. Oh yeah, Jeff's got your fan in here, Jeff. Lisa May's my fan, and you can have Jeff. I'm just kidding. They know each other. That's why, because Lisa May is Jeff's biggest fan, right, Elisa? Anyways, so my anxiety here, guys, I've been putting off testing my pH because I only use this tester once, and I'm telling you guys, this is why I made the show. It's not to tell you guys what to do or the specifics of how to do stuff. It's to explain to you the anxiety, the feelings that I'm going through as I'm trying to be somebody who I wasn't before. I never grew stuff. I didn't have a garden. I didn't do this stuff. So little stuff like this gives me such anxiety. Like, I can't even open the box to do it again, because I'm thinking, oh, do I have to recalibrate? Is it going to be off? What does it matter? What does it mean? And so, Leaf Cycle was nice enough. We had a little conversation while I was doing it, and just having that little that moral support there. He wasn't telling me what to do. He wasn't even looking at what I was doing. I just had a friend there talking about stuff. I'm like, all right, let me get this shit done. And so I finally did it, got it back in there. I'm worried about, do I make sure I rinse the piece off? Do I have to recalibrate it after I use it? Like, these weird, stupid questions that don't really matter. But as a new grower, they go through your head all the time, and it makes you sort of lock up. And a lot of growers will lock up because they don't know which way to go. And so I just want to make sure that you guys know you're not alone. All you guys out there who've attempted to grow and then stopped because, oh man, it didn't work out. I killed everything or whatever. Get back on that horse. That's all I can say. What's up, Cletus?
I can say I have one of those Aperas. I have the Grow Star model, and I love it. I haven't calibrated in a year. If the more you use it, the more it'll stay calibrated.
Okay. Yeah, because it's
when you don't use it and it dries out, that's when you get into trouble. Your biggest thing with your pH pen is always keep the KCI fluid filled in it so it don't dry out. Those Aperas will stay calibrated for a long time if you use them. They are really good pens.
It was a little pricey for sure, and I want to show both of these because these are both kind of very useful items. One is going to show you your parts per million, that TDS meter, which is the second thing that I really needed to get into. That's that Leaf Cycle. I was getting to this, bro. I just wanted to point out, as he is pointing out in the comments, these items here that I purchased are like $60 or $80. But Leaf Cycle has both meters for $15 on leafcycle.net.
That's right.
In fact, I might actually purchase a few of those, Andrew. Just get a few of those and use them as giveaways and stuff for growers. Because
those are really nice. Those are really nice meters for just that, that everyday grower. Mm-hmm. They work really well. I have both of these. I swear by the Aperas. This one's my go-to though. It's PPM.
Hold on to those, and we'll look at them closer. Hold on. This is almost done, but we'll pull you up full or bigger screen so people can look at them.
Cool.
This is my worm bin, guys. I've been told just to get rid of it. I honestly, There it is to the right. I honestly, I feed it stuff still, and stuff disappears in there. It's kind of fun. I haven't really been doing much with the worms though. I feel like if I was worried about worm castings because of spider mites, then that's one thing. But I can actually use the worms. I could rinse off the worms, put them in my aquaponic system. The fish will love them. The worms actually hang out in the um, clay pebbles. Oh, speaking of hanging out in the clay pebbles, I don't think I got a picture of it. That giant beetle, Steve-O, were you were with me when we found that? He's hanging out. I put him up in my system. He's hanging out in the clay pebbles. And this thing is like the size of a bigger than a marble easily. I don't know. He's bigger than my thumb.
No way.
Yeah, he's hanging out in there. He's having a good time. So I paused it here because I got I got all these pots of used soil left. What I plan to do is I'm going to break them off, break off the root ball and break up that soil, and I'm going to use it for potatoes and stuff like that. Instead of going back using it for cannabis, I'm going to dial in the cannabis, go a lot harder on like new soil every time, and make sure I'm writing everything down, making sure I know what I'm giving them and all that. Because guys, I just paid for my insurance today. Mcabee's live market is live. No pun intended. It's live, guys. My business is going right now as we speak. So I got to get something. I got to make sure I dial it in. I make sure everything is squared away. Make sure it's a lot better than my little Sanford and Son setup that I've got going on now. I need to step up my game now. This is what tonight's all about. I'm going to get rid of all that soil, and I'm gonna do more potatoes, I think, but that's just for me. That's not the business part of things. So here we go, Steve-O. That wall, I'm going to get rid of all that stuff there, and that's where I'm going to line up these racks.
Oh, and perfect.
Although I'm worried about that electrical, that box though, the circuit breaker. I don't know if I want to have much moisture near the circuit breaker. Although all the microgreen trays are going to be covered with a dome, so I mean I don't know. I'm still. And here's another picture to show you guys the other corner because I might actually use that instead. Yeah, here you go. So get rid of my dirty table, like all the my that's like my working station where I do all the soil and everything. So I could get rid of that and just go along that back wall. I think I'm going to do that. Anyway, I have plenty of space. I just have to rearrange, start building it up.
Well, think of all those damp, moist basements that have boxes in the basement, with over 100% humidity. I think you'll be fine with your microgreens there.
Yeah, and I actually have a dehumidifier keeping it somewhat around 60. I mean, I can't say it's staying at 60 because it's kind of far away. I mean, it's a big basement, so it's keeping an area at 60 anyway. That's it. That's my video. It was a small video, but I mostly have some work to do on those racks. So we're gonna play around with those later. Have a sesh after we get Andy out of here, and I'll go build some racks. But all right. So we don't actually have a musician tonight, guys. Our musician, he thought he was playing for an hour. I'm like, you thought we were gonna have you on to play for an hour? Like, what is? Anyway, it was a little bit. It was a little confusing. But hey, it is what it is. So, anyway, like I said, thanks, Andy, for coming on. So I guess we'll just move on, Steve-O. We'll just move on. You know what's next, guys?
Oh,
Do you know what's next? Do you know what's next?
Be advised, the following content is rated S for certified.
I think
You're muted there, brother. You're in there twice now. I can't hear you. Hopefully you can hear me. Nope. You're just muted on StreamYard. Hi. You just unmuted and then remuted.
Computer.
There it is. Oh, it's remuting you. That's strange.
I'm going to jump. Oh,
Nope,
there we go.
There you go.
I got it. It's been going real slow. Every time I touch something, it like lags for like 3 seconds. I
Close
thought
anything that you possibly can. Close everything else, any tabs or anything if you can.
Got you.
StreamYard takes a lot of
There we
juice.
go. Everything's closed now.
Yeah, you're good. Here, I'll put up your. You want me to put the video? Oh, you got it. There we go.
You got it right there.
Let's see what Steve-O's got going on, guys.
Yeah. Well, this is the outdoor grow, guys. This is that Misfit Genetics from Mike Hood. This is the triple homicide we've been following outside. Not much really going on this week, just letting her grow. This is just a little
big, man. You're getting big.
Yeah, a little watering that I'm doing. Now, keep in mind, a month ago, these were dead, guys. They were literally not even an inch tall because of the little mishap that happened with the cat. But, yeah, they're looking good. I'm trying, you'll see here in the video, I'll try to pause it when I get there, but you can see where I topped them last week, and already a couple of them, I've got a couple of real nice shoots coming out, and they're looking pretty good. But, yeah.
What's going on with that one, Steve-O? Does it just need staked up, or is it the sun that made it go to the side there?
Oh, no, I've got that one bent over a little bit.
Oh, that's right. You were training them that way.
Yeah, I've got that one bent over a little bit, and then I got the other one that I was trying to make that knuckle. It hasn't healed yet, and I kind of had to prop it up. It was falling down on itself, and it was kind of cutting it off a little bit. But otherwise, that one I didn't do anything but top, I believe. But I don't. I water them twice a day usually, so I don't give them a full watering. I usually, as you can see, I give them a sprinkle here, 1 gallon for all 4 of the pots, and then I'll do the same thing in the evenings with them.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty small still. It's pretty.
Yeah, they're little guys.
Plus, they had a lot of rain. Did you have them inside during that, or did you?
No, they were outside. I haven't had to water them in 2 days until now.
Toughened them up.
Mm-hmm.
That one toughened them up for sure.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. It was.
And they have a crazy smell to them too.
Have you tried to? Have you tasted the leaves? I like to eat a leaf every now and then. There's some plants that I found that straight up taste sweet. When you eat their leaves, like wow, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. See those shoots?
What am I looking at?
You see where I topped it? The 2 shoots came out.
Oh, right. The 2 different ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring it back a little there.
I know what you're saying
there
now.
You go.
Yeah, okay.
See that better?
Yeah. Praying.
So,
a little bit praying.
Yeah, praying, right?
They're praying. They loved it.
So that top I did last week, guys, that's 1 week's worth of growth. So I definitely am impressed by these triple homicide plants so far. They are very resilient. And that's exactly what Mike told me why he wanted me to test them. But yeah, they're looking pretty decent. I'm not going to do much more training except for the one that I actually bent over. I'm going to run that one all the way around the outside of the pot. But
I bet you they explode this next week. Now, if they grew that much under a stress week right after topping, I bet you they really explode now.
yeah, you could tell they needed a little bit of water. They were drooping a little there. But
That
yeah,
one on the left, the rest look pretty happy.
yeah,
Look,
that one right there.
biggest one, yeah, and it just has big, heavy leaves. It's funny that none of them are growing branches yet. They kind of are, but not. I have both of my little ones are the same way, but that third one, man, it just shot up in every direction. It was crazy.
Yeah. So
right.
yeah, that one was a pretty simple one this week, guys. I have the indoor plants. I was going to run in and show you those real quick here. Let me turn this down. When I get in there, we only go at the top.
I say it sounded like a Somebody was getting murdered.
Yeah, it did.
All right,
It did sound like Psycho there.
Waiting for you, Steve-O. I think I see you.
Oh yeah, let me flip this camera around.
All right, I'll wait till I see it. You need to turn the volume down on your phone too before I pull you back up. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hit those reacts if you can, if you haven't already tonight. Gonna hopefully have a good holiday tomorrow. There's a parade. I think my son's going to a parade, and I did do a review, but we'll show that next week, next Tuesday. Oh, I see it now. There he is.
There we go.
Turn the volume down
The volume down.
of your phone. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
How about that? Can you see me?
I can.
All right. Well, check this out. This is the. Let me pull this off here real quick. These are the Grow Fam genetics that I just popped. And these are going to go into solo cups tomorrow because Kelly has to get me the cups. I thought I had them, but I don't. But they're looking pretty good, just getting a little too tall.
Yeah.
So when I bury them into the solo cup, I'll just bury them up to their neck, pretty much the whole stem. And then they'll blow up after that. That always seems to work well for me. What do you guys think?
I think that you just need to keep the light close enough that they don't keep stretching. That's my opinion.
They're starting to stack. Their nodes are right on top of each other now. They should start not stretching too hard off between now.
This hairy man.
Fucking hair everywhere.
I hear that. I know that.
All I can really do is regurgitate what I've heard until I feel like it's knowledge that I can call upon. You know, like a lot of growers have pretty overlapping techniques, but there's a lot of different ones too. So I try to keep my eyes and ears open to all of them. I can hear our echo, Steve-O.
You can hear an echo?
Your phone.
It's off.
Hello.
I
don't know what it was then.
I'm going to go out and come back because it's been messing up on me this whole time.
That's okay. We're going to start talking to Andy now. We might end up with a little shorter show tonight. We usually go about 2 hours and do about a half hour at the end there to hang out. But tonight, guys, we got the holiday tomorrow, and we'll probably just wrap it up. Do an easy night tonight. We had an awesome game night last night. If you didn't come, we had a bunch of giveaways, and we also had some surprise giveaways. How about now? Hello. Can you hear me, Steve-O?
Yes, I can.
Cool.
Can you?
All right. You heard no echo. Well, I don't know what that was about. So, guys, we got Andy here. Andy, you're from Quincy. Is that it?
Yep, Quincy, Illinois.
Well, if you want to kind of give us if you want to introduce yourself, sort of like this is me and this is what I do. You know, who are you?
Yeah, like I said, I'm Andy Cantrell. I've been growing for about 5 years now. Always just been a firm believer in cannabis as a medicine most of my life. So I decided the best thing to do was, try my hand at starting a little bit of a business of myself in the field that I love. So, I started Top Shelf Terps, and, we just kind of do the best we can to provide the most, medicinal product to the people that we can. The terps are the medicine, and we don't strive for THC, or we don't strive to get you so high that you can't function. We just want you to have cannabis and feel better and make you better, like power to the plant. And I've just seen so many sick people get better with this, and not spend $1 million at a hospital. I've had friends, you know, that I've seen just amazing things, and I couldn't not try to help people with the knowledge I have. That's kind of where I was.
Let me ask you: is it okay if I make you a bigger screen? That's
Yeah, man,
all right.
whatever you guys
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, you know, you're getting more and more into the videos and stuff. Are you thinking about doing any video content on for your business, or are you just holding back
do.
for now?
Yeah, we've been thinking about doing more and more, you know, just trying to get our name out there. Really, and you know, and we've been trying to get more videos out at the bee, you know, at the apiary. That seems to be a
Yeah.
big thing. People want to see the bees. I don't know if anyone knows. I also am. My family owns Queen's Crop Raw Honey out of Quincy, Illinois, too.
Mhm.
So we do a lot of infusing of our honey, and it's kind of our little niche. It's
Hmm.
our honey is very sweet. We plant particular plant plots to feed those bees. We've kind of learned how to manipulate their flow for the year. Um, so that's kind of a big one that people want to see content on. I would say they want to know what we do at the beehives.
Yeah.
Sure. So,
Jimmy B
so
tells me all the time about how awesome your honey is. He tells everybody.
yeah,
I
I've
know.
heard.
I know. I love Jimmy. He's the best. And he, whatever, I love him because whenever that honey hits his hands, you can just see he's just like, yeah,
He's
I'm in for a
giggling.
treat. He loves it, man. He really does.
Well, honey's got so much to it that people don't think about, and that's one of the things. That's one of the reasons I'm pushing to get a hold of people like you and other growers to broaden our thoughts on growing and on sustainability. And a lot of people know there's problems with bees and that kind of thing, but what they don't think about is why honey's so important.
Mhm.
And so
The
that's
uh, the American honeybee had one of the worst years, if not the worst year it's ever had this year.
Oh
this
no.
year, huh?
It was a bad year for bees across North America. This year was a bad one. A lot of not a lot of fires. Um, a lot of big chemical spills everywhere. It's been a bad one.
Chuck
So
asked,
yeah, we're just trying to do what we can. You know, we have around 120 hives in 3 locations. Um, but the bees are really important. And like you said, honey, um, I know a lot of people who give their kids honey now. You shouldn't give honey to a baby, though. I always say that. No, infants shouldn't have, up to 1 year old, shouldn't have honey, raw honey. I don't know if a lot of people don't know that, so I always say that. But we found a lot of kids and younger people with allergies really bad in this area. 1 tablespoon of honey in the morning. After that, every day, after around a month or so, in prolonged use, the allergies aren't as bad or go away without any medication anymore, and that's a big deal.
yeah, and that's one reason I've been thinking about it. But you just live a little farther away from me because they say local honey is what 100 miles radius from you.
75. We
Okay,
do what we. This is another big part of why we plot our fields with clovers. Goldenrod's a big one because goldenrod is pretty much the biggest allergen plant for people in this area through the Midwest. So
goldenrod.
if you can get your bees to be pulling goldenrod, you can generally tell anyone in the Midwest area that you are helping them with an allergy because most people who have an allergy outside, it's goldenrod. That's the bad one for people.
I see. Well, because I have allergies and they're to cats and dogs, so I don't know if honey's going to help me necessarily.
No,
But
Mhm.
it's more for the outdoor, the antihistamine effect of it. It's the outdoor stuff. Not to say now it will build up your immune system and your
sure.
antihistamine system. It might help you fight it off better,
Right.
but I'm not gonna say it's gonna help as much as those outdoor pollens and stuff.
All natural cough and sinus medicine. Honey,
Didn't
honey,
know that.
apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, but we do the infused honey, which is a big deal. We do CBD, CBG. We think we find I love CBD. I love CBG. I know a lot of people frown down on it. They're like, yeah, there's no, I don't get high off it. Yeah, but
Right.
it's a great medicine. But we do these like these infused honeys. This is 6 ounce. It's a tornado honey, and these are pretty big ones for people. They love that a lot.
Hmm.
So that's a
So
big
you work
one.
closely together. I mean, Top Shelf Terps and your family's honey business that works well together. And then you have the fact that honeys have been they've been, I don't know if it's an experimental stage or if anybody's doing it commercially, but you can have honeys pollinate with cannabis. Have you thought about doing that?
They say you can. I've never tried. I've thought about putting CBD plants out there and see how they react to it.
They say that the honey has some of the medicinal qualities from the cannabis if they do it
They
that way.
do. See, the thing I've never done it, but what I understand is a lot of these farms will purposely have nothing else around but the cannabis, and then they'll spray that said cannabis with a sugar water to almost force the bees to it because bees aren't naturally drawn because there's no nectar in cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
There's no sweetness. You know what I'm saying? If there's any other food source, that's probably where they're gonna go first.
I wonder how they do it then. If it doesn't have a traditional flower, are they taking? I mean, this is hypothetical. Obviously, you're not doing this, but are they taking the trichomes and like like I don't know. That seems crazy.
Yeah, and
Interesting though.
there's some extreme science. When we do our infusions, we do it, and we have a Levo machine, and I love our Levo machine, and we do it at a very low temperature for a very long time because
What is it?
anything. What's that?
What is it?
The
It's
Levo.
it's an infusion machine.
Oh,
It's kind of like a magic butter, or like
I
all
see.
them, but
Right.
we do it at no more than 100 degrees. So because anything over 100 degrees with raw honey, and you burn off a lot of the good effects. A lot of
Sure.
people will infuse honey at like 140 and 150, and at that point you've just made caramelized sugar, and it's not even good for you anymore.
Chuck Rock with the knowledge in the comments here. Chuck, thanks for coming through, man. Look at this. He says honey and sweet basil boil in 2-gallon water, reduced to 1 gallon for tea. Natural anti-inflammatory, also has local allergens. Damn, Chuck, we'll have to get you on the show
Oh
sometime.
yeah, Chuck's very knowledgeable. Yeah.
Sure.
100%.
Let me ask you some little basic questions here. Like, when did you first start growing? I mean, the family had the honey thing, but did you have your hands on plants at a young age, or was it?
I've always grown up. I grew up on a farm. We
Yeah.
always had gardens. I lived on a beef farm out in Kellerville for a while. Decided to be a dairy farm, and dairy farming sucks. It's one of the worst things. I never wish it on anyone. But we've always had a garden. Always been self-sustainable. I've always believed in having your own food source, canning. I grew up, like I said, in a small town. Kellerville was a population 85 people. If you drove through it, you blinked and it was done.
Right. So you kind of had some of that stuff naturally to be learning. Have you as an adult, do you grow your own food at all?
Yes, we have a garden outside. We do cabbage, we do our broccoli, we do cauliflower. Celery is one of my favorites because I work outside. So it's something I take to eat while I'm at work all day because high nutrient, high water content to keep, always do a few peppers every year, a couple tomatoes, big herb garden. Me and my wife have a big herb garden because we use a lot of our own herbs is what we source into like our topicals that we make. Like our topical is we got one right here. It's like shea butter, lavender, our beeswax, rosemary oil, eucalyptus. It's but mainly everything that we put in any of our products we source ourselves.
Sure. Eucalyptus. Wait, did you say you grow eucalyptus?
No, that's one of the ones we don't. We buy that oil and we buy the rose oil because rose petal oil is extremely expensive and you need a lot of rose petals to make like hardly any oil. It's one of those ones that you would have to just have massive amounts of rose plants to actually produce in.
I mean, I got a few rose bushes. I thought about propagating some cuttings and selling the selling cuttings of rose bushes as a thing.
As you should. Roses should be spread anywhere they could.
Sure, and they're in kind of a shaded area right now, so it's hard to get them to like. I see like one rose pop, and then it goes away, and it's like, I better hurry up and do something. All right, Steve-O, obviously you can jump in if you have any questions, brother.
Well, Chuck wants to know if you make that killer lip balm.
Oh.
No, but we are starting lip balm, and that's one thing that we've been kind of messing with and trying to get it to solidify and be right. We don't want to send it out there and people put it in their pockets and it's a puddle. Because, it's we're just making sure, and that's one, and we're working CBD dog tinctures is one we're working on. Because I have older dogs and we make them CBD tinctures, and I've noticed it's a big deal for them. So that's one I want to get out there to people, is that, as easy, to get and as cheaply as possible, because a lot of these things are extremely expensive. And I make these products. I know what it costs to make them. And there's a lot of overpriced stuff on those shelves.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
you find that with supplements a lot too, like vitamin supplements. You find out how they made them, and it was just some like byproduct that they was able to squeeze something out of. And Chuck's got an idea for you here. Oh snap! What is it? Look at this tattoo ointment. The huge seller.
Yeah. Well, and this, like, what we make. We take a little bit of honey, CBD infused honey, and a little bit of turmeric. It'll turn your skin a little yellow for a while. But if you have any kind of rash, a cut, a wound, it'll heal it so fast. It's unreal. A little bit of turmeric in that honey with the CBD infused turmeric honey. That's a big one. But I use this topical on cuts all the time, and I've noticed that CBD and those cannabinoids in there makes a big difference for the healing time, big time.
Wow.
I think it can be added just so much. Go ahead, Steve-O.
Oh, so that sounds very interesting to me. I'm an amputee, and right at the end of my tibia, I've got this sore that never goes away, and I put stuff on it all the time, and it never seems to, help. So, maybe that's the next thing I try.
Yeah, get hold of me. I will definitely send you some of that honey. And the turmeric is easy to source. Just go to any spice store, a little bit of turmeric, just mix it in. And like I said, your skin will be a little yellow where you use it, but it was pretty amazing. I had I got a wet boot, and I had this rash on top of my foot, and I was fighting it for like 4 or 5 days. And finally my wife was like, "What's wrong with your foot?" I hadn't told her, and she was like, "Here, I've been working on this." So she threw that stuff on there, and it healed it right up. I was like, "Damn, okay, this is good stuff."
Really? Wow.
So it sounds like you're a hell of a team. Then you guys are both in on it, or does she have her own job aside from that?
Yeah, she's a nurse. She's a registered traveling nurse. But I make the product, and she turns it into fire. That's the truth. I ain't gonna lie. She gets into the kitchen here and kills it with the edibles and these topicals, and I just grow plants, man. I just grow plants.
How long have you grown cannabis?
What's that?
How long have you grown cannabis specifically?
5 years. 5 years myself actually growing. I've been involved with helping friends over the years with the process. But I've always, I got a kid, so I was like, I can't grow and stuff. Sure. And then I got my medical card, and and now I can have my 5, and I can grow and do my thing. And you can get, if once you get down to where you're dialed in pretty good, you can pull a pretty good yield off of 5 plants if you know what you're doing. Sure. You can keep pretty productive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and there are ways to speed it up.
Yeah, there's definitely ways. I keep a centrifugal grow going, I work, it's always about having something to flip and having something ready to go the next time.
Yeah, perpetual growth.
I have a
Perpetual
very
growth.
important question. I should start asking every person we have come on. Indoor or outdoor?
Okay,
Good one.
you're gonna open up a can of worms here with me, but I've done both, so I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it.
Mhm.
Indoor. You can have a much more controlled environment, so you get a much prettier bud, denser, more bag appeal, great flavor. Don't get me wrong, always, but outdoor will always be terpier than indoor. It's what it's how it is. They have more things to resist. They have more UV protection they have to build, and that is your terpenes. And that is important. I do one outdoor grow every year, and it's what I use for a lot of my edibles and
Hmm.
my if I make if I make any hashes or temple balls, because the outdoor will always make better
Hmm.
hash and better terpy, cannabis. But for smokable flower, I will always that'll be my indoor.
I see. Yeah, the flavor, the taste, and probably the THC content can be
You
basically the
can't
same either way, right?
you
Like,
can't you can get that THC, and I'm not saying that matters all that
sure.
much, but you can get that THC content up a little higher in indoor. You can control it, and you play God in a tent or in a basement. You can dictate any humidity environment. So the indoor is, of course, it's a prettier product, but I will say that outdoor makes a more delicious cannabis when it comes to a lot of hashes and stuff like that.
More full spectrum, I think, would
More
be.
full spectrum. That's exactly it. A lot more different trichomes and different resins that are produced within those trichomes, because it's repelling a lot more pests and a lot more, outdoor problems. It makes a lot stronger of a plant.
Sure. Do you wash your bud?
I do. Outdoor
I started
stuff. I
doing
do.
indoor too.
I
I
do the
do it
three
indoors
bud.
as well. So you don't wash the inside? I have pets, so I'm
I
like,
don't do.
man,
I don't wash my indoor because I'm the biggest thing that's ever in my indoor, and I'm not bragging, is my hair.
sure.
I'm
Hey, you
extremely.
should be bragging, man. You and Steve-O both. What did that take you? 30 years? Like,
Yeah.
I can't get there, man.
I
Hey,
know
I
it's just
respect
Can't
that.
there.
do it.
I actually try to wear a little hair cap when I go in anymore
Sure.
because I don't. Yeah, but I'm extremely vigilant with my IPMs. I spray. I watch all the time.
Hmm.
If there's one thing that I've kept extremely over the top about since I've started growing, because like what you said earlier is extremely true. When I started growing, I was so worried about doing everything that I couldn't do anything,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
my plants really suffered. And then I made up this, like, I guess if you use an acronym, it's KISS: keep it simple, stupid.
Sure.
And my plants got better after that, when I just went back to my simple method when I started and just got dialed in, because it's really all about your environment. You can basically feed a plant anything as long as you feed it correctly. It's really about your environment. That's what's going to be the dictation if your plant thrives or not.
Yeah, I changed a lot of things from the first grow, so I really expected a lot more out of this one, but I just, for some reason, I overfed the plants. I transplanted them, and then I fed them, and I think the combination of the soil with some worm castings plus a feeding from actual nutrients was too much for it.
Are you
So
able to test the soil pH in those? Do you have like a
I
soil
don't
pH pin or anything?
I don't have a soil those I had one with the spikes or the stakes you
Yeah.
stick down in there, but I think it broke. They're kind of cheap. So all
Yeah,
I did was
I
water.
use my. I was gonna say sometimes is it uptaking water still, or does it just sit there wet longer than you think it should when you water it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that
I
is a
can't.
good.
I couldn't say I can answer that right now. I think they're still uptaking water, but at the
I,
same
I
time, they're taking a dive recently. I fed twice. I've only fed them twice, but it was 1 week, and then the next week, and it was just feeding them when they didn't need it. I guess was what was
Yeah.
happening.
Well, I was just saying, because if they're not taking up water, there's a good chance that that soil, if the pH was like under 6, it become, anaerobic, and it was making too much of the wrong bacteria, and
Mm-hmm.
that would lock you out, especially if your microbes were backwards, I guess you would say.
Sure.
But that a big sign of that would be like, you had that droopiness and
Mm-hmm.
the look of the lockout.
The
But
discolor, yeah.
if it wasn't uptaking water, I would say that would be something to look into, because your roots were already soaked, and now they're even more or less having, you're not getting any oxygen. They're drowning.
Mm-hmm. So what
And
would you do? Just let them dry out for a minute?
let them dry out. Try to hit them with some higher pH water, possibly to raise the pH soil. And maybe hit them with some microbes, like some recharge.
Yeah, I don't have any recharge, unfortunately. I need to get some.
Yeah, any kind of microbial life that could reverse that would start to help.
Well, I
I'm not
use
a
the fish
soil
water.
expert. I can say.
Sure, no, I hear you, and I
Yeah,
that's
and
why I
no, the
sort of
fish
tried
water.
different things.
Yeah, that's something that I've experienced. So it's whenever you experience something, you kind of see the same traits. It's something you go to.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. I was giving them only fish water for a long time, and they were fine. Other than it looked like maybe the pH was off because of some discoloring. But now I think the pH being off on top of feeding them, I think. Anyway, I could guess all day, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it, guys.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
slow
one of those
process, kind
things.
of trying things, testing things. And it's all good knowledge for me for the next one, right? But that's how you got to look at it. Did you ever decide, or not decide? Did you ever think you were going to quit? Did you ever think early on, like, oh man, it's too much money, too much stuff? Did you have a point where you had to make that decision, like, no, I'm going to keep going, or I'm going to hang in?
Um, I had a little moment where I hit the hiccup, because I was doing too much, and my plants never. I had one or two really good grows right off the
Mm-hmm.
bat, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I got this."
Right, I'm
Everyone gets
badass.
confident. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is easy." And then it's like, "Oh man, you start adding all these different things that you think are gonna make your plants so much better, and then you realize, like, my plant's doing horrible. Like, what am I doing wrong?" And then I ain't gonna lie, I had to run in with thrips, and that was about like I fought him and I fought him, but I fought him off and I learned a lot. And there was a few times I was like, I'm about done. I'm just gonna burn this whole
Mhm.
tent, But I'm glad I didn't, because now I'm to a point where I'm so dialed in my grow room. I use the auto pots, and it's everything. So it's gotten so easy and it's dialed in, and I was like, damn, I was like trying 50 million things and ruining my plants.
I kind of am trying a lot of different things, not to find one that works, but to get myself a little bit of perspective on other ways of growing, a little bit of cocoa, a little bit of soil. I'm on aquaponics, which is a little bit like hydroponics as far as that. A lot of different methods, and even with the aquaponics, there's multiple methods inside there. A grow bed, a float bed, like holes in a PVC pipe, a grow tower, all these different methods. And so I kind of wanted to immerse myself in a bunch of different things. And yeah, it makes it crazy, but also I kind of know which ones I like now. I also begrudgingly decided that you do have to do a little bit of soil work. I always thought, oh, I'm going to go aquaponics, never look at soil, never worry about it. Until I get a bigger and bigger system, then I kind of have to have the soil aspect of things. Have you tried hydroponics ever? Well, I guess you use
Yeah,
auto, so you're using
yeah. I used to do hydroponic in the 5-gallon buckets, and with the air stones and everything. And bucket swaps ain't my thing.
yeah.
I didn't like the bucket swaps, and honestly, I don't personally like hydroponic cannabis as much as soil cannabis.
Hmm.
It's something I'm gonna
You're missing
sound
stuff there. Yeah, there's definitely some
it
missing.
It's your bricks count from your soil microbial life and the exudates and stuff. It makes a difference. I know that it's whatever it is, but studies find that it's a 5 to 10% increase in bricks between a soil and a hydroponic grow of a tomato.
When you say bricks, what do you mean?
That a bricks is like the count of like the sweetener, the sugars in the plant that it has produced. Like the higher the bricks count, they say the higher the terpene potency and
The more
stuff.
rich the plant is, the more healthy.
Yeah, that's why people will feed a lot of high molasses and flour and stuff. They're trying to push up that bricks count.
Oh.
Those sweeteners and the boom boosters and stuff like that.
That's what all those boosters and things are. Okay.
Yeah, and the sweetener teas with the molasses at the end. It gets those microbes feeding, heavy into those sugars, and their exudates or their discretes or whatever feed those plants too, and that get into that plant and create that sweetness, because terpenes are created by microbial poop. So all the things we love comes from microbes poop.
Right, but that's being broken down from bigger poop and bigger poop.
Yes, the soil life chain is a pretty amazing thing.
I thought of this funny. This is totally sidetracked, you guys, but I've been itching to get back on the comedy stage, Steve-O, and I've been thinking about this skit where I thought, let's take a weird word like poop, and let's pretend like it doesn't mean what we think it means, and it means something totally different. And anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but it was a funny little skit I thought of earlier today. I was like, let's just, like come up with like a sentence or talk about a story and use the word poop in the story, but it's like it means like a normal object or what, Anyway, funny things. But I don't want to keep grilling you too much, man. I appreciate you coming on for sure.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was,
anything for us? Did you have any like thoughts or any questions for us? That's you're more than welcome to ask, of course.
No, I mean, besides Steve-O, get at me and I'll send you some of this CBD honey, because I do want you, and I mean, if you want, I'll put, I can send some turmeric, but like I said, any local store will have turmeric, and I want you to try that, because I thought, that would be a perfect example of to find out if that really works good.
It would. And then Steve-O could talk about it. Yeah, and then you could talk about it directly, as something that you believe in, and that's what I want. I actually meant to monologue earlier, but me not being able to find that video just threw me all off of my intro. But I wanted to point out something, guys. I'm really having fun with what I'm doing. I'm having fun. All of this stuff, all the ins and outs, all the people that I'm meeting, and all of the goals that I had set, like Steve-O told me the other day, the goals I'd set are coming to fruition, other than my biggest goal, which is to eventually have a sort of a living grocery store atmosphere, a big old building somewhere, a bunch of land, all that stuff down the road. But I get frustrated at times, ins and outs of the people canceling or people, haters out there, competitors, all the back and forth of this stuff. And I step back here and there, and I had to make myself step back, because today's the day. I paid for my insurance. It's a big step for me, because that means I have a business, right? So it's exciting for me, because it's almost entirely separate than what I'm doing here, even though it has a lot to do with it. But I don't have to worry about the numbers. I don't have to chase all this stuff. I will tell you that Steve-O and I keep getting more people willing to support us by becoming sponsors, and it's awesome. At the same time, though, I don't want to let sponsors down. I don't want to be up here and not get the numbers to increase. I don't want to do things that make it seem like we don't care or whatever it is. But at the same time, I also don't want to be chasing those likes and follows so hardcore that I miss the picture. Right, the picture is what I'm doing today in real life with these racks that I bought, with all the equipment that I have ready to go. I have a stack of bar lights already ready to put up for this purpose. Everything's ready to go except me. I have to push forward to the real life goal that I made. And I just want to tell everybody that I thank you for supporting us. Yesterday was game night, and obviously it's basically to generate more and more support, which keeps getting bigger too, by the way. It's awesome. Next month, I think we're going to give out the Q7 Mini, I've already purchased it. So if you want to get in on that, it'll be $2 to join us over on Locals. But no, I just want to point that out because it's something that it bothers me sometimes. Like I got 5 people watching over on Rumble. Hey, what's up, Rumble? I appreciate you guys. But the Rumble keeps going all over the place as far as their site changing and numbers and all that, and so it boggles my mind and it gets me annoyed. And sometimes I make the mistake of comparing myself. You know what I mean? Sometimes you make that mistake, and you got to step back and say, "Wait, are you happy with what you're doing? Are you happy with the goals that you set and where you're at now?" And I would have to say, big resounding yes. And a lot of times, this is the other thing I come up with recently. You feel like you're working hard and walking in like treading water and sitting in one place or, running in place. But every so often all that hard work catches up. And then boom, you jump forward several feet. And you're like, whoa, what just happened? And that's because all the work that you put in, it will finally catch up with you. So those are things that I want to push out there because those are, I get frustrated, guys. I've been having I had a frustrating week last week, and it's like here and there, I got to stop and go, hey, what am I doing? Is it making any sense? Is it moving towards the goal? So yeah, it is. And it's still so chaotic. I bought this giant house because I thought, hey, I could be growing all winter long. It's a great idea. I have all these good ideas, but then I have to take care of a whole giant house by myself. And it's starting to become like a lot of stress, also the fact that there's a lot of outside projects that need done and upgrades and all this stuff. But it's coming. So as soon as I can get this going, then I can move in that direction. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think it's happening. It just has to be, I have to be okay with where I'm at right now today. And I think I am. So
yeah, man, the grind never ends, man.
It doesn't end, but why I'm here is actually already coming to fruition. It's not just for me to have the business and help feed the world and to have green energy power plants and all these awesome ideas, but to push people like Andy and Steve-O and Philip and Dan and Jimmy and Ashley and Leaf Cycle and Grow Fam, and push these other peers of mine who are pushing the same ideas, sustainability, these people out there that have the work put in. People like Andy who have the knowledge and have the history, pushing them to help me make it popular. You need those rock stars. You need those players in the game. You need those big names. Oh, that's that big name, right? Oh, what's he do? Oh, he feeds a lot of people. Oh, okay, cool. Let's put his picture up on a billboard. That's the plan. And I think that's already happening. A lot of people who I've been meeting in this community who weren't on the screen, didn't want to put their face on the camera, are starting to do that now. That's because I feel like that's the only way we're going to make it popular is to show that how many people actually do this shit out here. And what is it like? What's going to happen if you make it unpopular? No one's going to eat. Like what? There's no reason to go in that direction. I got to go the other direction, right?
Sure, right.
Anyway, I'm rambling. Enough rambling. I want to play the local commercial real quick. Go ahead, Andy. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I totally agree with what you're saying, brother. It's a rough grind every day, and with this Top Shelf Turfs thing, I've mulled on it for a long time, and I said to myself, it ain't never gonna happen unless you do it. So it was a goal I hit too. So it felt good, and now the grind starts again to hit the next goal.
Chuck's asking you if you offer fresh combs. I mean, again, guys, that's his family's business, but they work pretty close together. I'm guessing he can.
Yep, we actually just extracted our first. We just had our first extraction of the year last week, June 27th. It was the earliest we've ever pulled. We pulled close about 996 pounds of honey already.
Sheesh.
So yeah, it was a good first pull.
Do they slow down during the hot time of summer, or is it just
we'll be probably extracting at the end of July again, and then at the end of August they'll fill them frames up fast right now. It's
nice.
So yeah,
Chuck, go follow him on Top Shelf Terps. I would like to put I don't have a way to link it here, but yeah, guys, go find him on Facebook, link up with him. I don't know if there's a website that you want to push everyone to as well, but it sounds like Facebook's probably your best bet right now.
Yeah, we're still working on the page. We're on the actual page, so Facebook, and then we also have Queen's Crop Raw Honey has its own Facebook page too.
Oh, okay.
So
There we go.
and if you wants to just look up Queen's Crop or Top Shelf
Crop
or
Raw
both.
Honey.
Yeah,
There you
Queen's
go.
Crop Raw Honey.
Oh, Leaf Cycle says I'm not going there. He's going to contact me, son of mother. All right. All right. Nah, so yeah, like I said, I appreciate the people that have the knowledge because I'm a dreamer, I'm a thinker, but I'm not as not coordinated. What's the other word? Organized. Son of a bitch. Not that organized, man. I'm trying to get better at it, but I think we're doing well, Steve-O. But yeah, I think we always want to make it better. We're not just chasing new stuff on the show, guys. It's all about keeping it topic driven, but also making it more entertaining. And so people that wonder what I'm doing, it's like, what do you mean? It's pretty explanatory, but.
I just put the link to Top Shelf Terps. And by the way, Andy, if you didn't know, you can go in and change the name. So instead of having that long number, you can have it say facebook.com groups Top Shelf Terps to make it nice and easy if you want.
Yeah,
really?
Cool. Nice.
Yep.
Killer. Oh, there you go. Maybe. We'll have to get you guys hooked up.
Yeah.
They've met each other in person. I'm jealous. I haven't met Leaf Cycle in person. Lord and lady. Would you go up to Michigan or something, Andy?
No, I think actually we met at the CannaCon in Chicago, if I remember correctly.
That's funny. I haven't been to that one, but there's a toy convention coming up soon. I think I'm going to take my son to at the Civic Center.
Yeah. I think I was actually the week or two before we were coming home from Pennsylvania on vacation, and I was scrolling Instagram and I saw their perimeter packs and their perimeter sticks, and I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. So I ordered a pack of them, and then I went to CannaCon, and I believe I was leaving, and they were standing outside smoking, and I was like, hey, you guys are Leaf Cycle. You guys have some badass shit. And they were like, yeah. And that's where we met. It was a cool little thing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I will get a hold of you. I've been fielding a ton of messages lately, and I've seen yours, and I will definitely get a hold of you.
Leaf Cycle, come up, bro. I sent you a link.
Big time.
Yeah, come on up, Leaf Cycle.
We're gonna have a little sesh here on the end of the show if anybody wants to come in.
I know Jimmy wanted to come up.
Sure, I'm sure Jimmy wants to grill Andy like you know Jimmy Me, don't you? I'm kidding.
Yeah, you might know
Jimmy.
So did you guys actually? I don't think I've talked to you guys since. Maybe we can talk about this offline. But I know you guys did something for him down there in Quincy. So let me know if you gathered anything together, because if we're getting close, I hate to say this, but I'm pretty sure, but I don't know for sure. We're close to 1,200. I don't have all the dollars in my hands. 3 different people raised some money, but it's pretty close. We got
we do. So definitely keep in contact with me. We've been doing it, and also Devin and Liz down there at Rosebuds have been. Mm-hmm. They have a jar out, and they've been collecting towards it too. So we all have been building towards it down there.
All right, bro. You don't have to come up. He said you have to put clothes on. Actually, I want to point that out too. I did a review. I went down there to an event at Rosebuds. That's when I met you, and I really like that setup that you guys have there, where you like Rosebuds is the only grow shop right now. I don't know. I mean, that can't stay that way forever, probably, but it's nice that you have this setup where it's one grow shop. You have all these local growers of different types, and you guys all sort of meet up at there and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. We don't really have that here because we have so many grow shops.
No, it is honestly very community based here in Quincy in our cannabis culture, and that's something we are pretty proud of. We have a monthly, potency test, but really it's just hanging out with the guys and
Sure.
trying each other's smoke. And we got Phil down here with Soil Focus Farms. He just, we got, and Dan doing his mushrooms, and we're all just killing it, and it's a great little thing we have going on. We all kind of keep each other stoked up when we're down, when somebody's out of flowers, somebody helps somebody out. It's
Sure.
just a big group of homies, and it is nice because I've seen that it can get ugly in the cannabis culture, and it can get pretty competitive. But around Quincy,
Yeah.
we're trying to keep it where we want everybody to to be a part of everything with each other.
Yep.
I'll be honest. I don't want to get into the cannabis game because of that, for one of the reasons, but also it's a little hypocritical for me to say, because the game I'm trying to get into is even more competitive, which is every person on the planet, not just the ones that use cannabis.
Yeah.
Technically. So, but at the same time, like the cannabis industry has gotten very saturated with, so many growers and breeders and different things. So I would not touch that at all. But what I would say is the philosophy that I had starting this was, no matter how many people grow food or grow their own food, we will still need more people to grow food and grow their own food. It doesn't. So you guys are not competition in that respect. If I had 10 other people starting podcasts to popularize growing their own food, they're not competition. They're my purpose. They're the reason I did this. I want this to happen. I want more people to do that. So it's all good for me. If they, I do want to make a living. I do want to, but I have plans and ideas that I think nobody would even see coming. So we'll see what happens. I have thoughts, and my plans usually revolve around stuff that everyone needs, like where I'm not trying to limit my audience or my customer base.
Yeah.
Not just I think cannabis and the medicinal side is also so important. That's why I'm sitting here smoking this on screen, guys. I'm helping to normalize medicinal use. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm explaining this to people who may be watching this that aren't our friends that know us in the comments right now. But I get a lot of hate, I think, on I wouldn't say hate, but like low key ignorance and people of family and friend variety that don't want to see what I'm talking about, only purely because of the cannabis.
Yeah.
They don't say that, but what else would it be? I mean, is it me talking about eating food? That's not it. It's the use of cannabis. I limit some of my audience, but I'm also trying to push this boulder uphill. The hey, let's try to take another look. And it's funny, the government just authorized a look at psychedelics and cannabis for veterans. They're doing a study on it. I read it last week on Wayland Wednesday. But it's funny that they're now starting to open up that and as a study, but you still can't.
I honestly think psilocybin studies will go a lot faster in legalization in pharmaceutical.
For sure.
I think it'll go a lot faster than cannabis ever did, because they didn't fight a war against it for 40 years to be wrong at the end.
Yeah, and I actually just said that exact same thing, not the last statement, but basically the same thought I said Thursday when we on People in the Boxes when we discussed free speech. We were talking a little bit about cannabis and the stigma, and I said that same thing. Psilocybin will get fast tracked compared to cannabis because all this infrastructure is already laid with the cannabis push movement.
Yeah.
So.
It's wild, but honestly, it's not a bad thing. Psilocybin medicine is a big deal. It helps a lot of people.
I microdosed for a week, and I haven't needed to go back. Steve-O started by it. Yeah, I still get down. I have like normal depression now, not as much some of the major stuff, but Australia just legalized psilocybin and MDMA for mental health treatment.
They did.
MDMA is a big one too that I'd love to see. I think they were using that with veterans as well at some point. Oh man, I am out altogether. I need more dabs.
Yeah, same. I'm out of dabs just about.
I'm actually thinking of going to the grow shop. I won't be able to do it tomorrow, I guess, but
Just
I'd like
use
to go use my smoke, and get it squished.
Yeah, I have my own press. It's one of the best investments I've ever made. I press I love flowers. It's one of my favorite things.
I just don't know when I can justify that purchase, especially trying to start a business.
Do you have a nug smasher?
Yeah,
I don't.
I have a Dualitech 7-ton. Tech is the brand.
Is it electronic or is it a hand pump?
No, you just hand pump. It's a hand pump with 4x2 plates, dual heated. But yeah, it works great. I do flour. I do a 37 micron with Nug Run, and I get some really good product, and I always cold cure it. It's a big difference with when you do flour rosin is the cold cure in there.
Cold cure.
Yeah,
So
that
put it in your
flash freezer.
What's that?
Does that mean
I just do it right in the refrigerator, leave it in there for a week, and I just stir it once a week, and it creams up to almost like this really nice peanut butter consistency, and the terpenes are amazing when you do it like that.
Do you do a bubble hash and then smash, or?
I have, but I honestly just usually do a lot of. I don't wash very much because I use so much of my product for edibles, and I'm a pretty big fan of flour rosin, so I usually can just take it from right there, and I get a lot better yield that way too. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my bubble hash when I have it, but
Sure.
my flour rosin is my go-to, so that's usually what I produce more of.
Yeah,
for sure, man.
Flour rosin is the way to go.
I used to make some BHO. I made some badass BHO. You guys remember that? Some BHO.
Yeah.
BHO? Oh yeah, it's still around everywhere. That's really one of the biggest, cheapest thing around here. I don't care for it as much because it just I don't know. Maybe it's in my head, but I just always think that there's butane left in it. I'm always worried about that.
Well, if it's made on the street, for sure, but there are ways to do it right. I used to make it myself, and I was proud of how good I could make it eventually, but I don't do it anymore either because in my head I'd rather smash it without butane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We used to get that BHO, and we would spread it out on a tray and take our torch and go over it, and it'd be like, you'd see and be like, that was a bad batch. You see all that butane just fuse out of it when you would get it off the street and be like, oh, this is bad for us now.
Snap, crackling, popping, and
yeah, you'd almost just see it flash, just cook it all off. Hopefully, that's what we would try to do to it. Just hit it and try to cook some more of it off real quick before we.
Those were the days.
Yeah. Hell, I remember when I was in high school, we used to say you got to save all the resin out of your bowl.
Oh yeah, I used to scrape the old aluminum pipes, and you'd always have those little shavings in it that you'd be smoking. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, you're like, oh, all right. Though, yeah.
Never thought about that.
Days. Man, the people nowadays coming into this, they don't know how easy they got it.
Oh, for sure. Anybody who doesn't know brick feed, they don't know the struggle.
We used to get bricks of it, and I remember one time we opened one up, and it was literally full of rolls of quarters with just a little bit of smoke all around it to make weight.
Oh no.
Yeah, rolls of pennies and quarters. That was a bad one. Got ripped off pretty good on that one.
Well, in that regard, it's nice to have the dispensaries, but what do you think of the So I'll just give you my perspective first, because I've heard a lot of growers say, F a corporate weed or whatever. But what are you doing when you decide to support growers instead? You support corporate grow shops. Like, you end up with the down the line, right? So why are you, like, because it's a cool factor. Oh, I'll be cool and say I'm down with the dispensaries. I don't go there necessarily because I grow my own, but it's like, if to each his own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Some people get all like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you go to the
Ironic.
dispensary." My thing on that is, I said, like, I can cook a really good steak at home, but sometimes I want to go somewhere and have someone cook that steak for me.
Sure.
That's kind of like like, I go every now and then when I see something dispensary that I want to try, I'll go get it. I'll try stuff from the dispensary. I'm not against that at all.
Mhm.
I tried to get a job at this farm in Delavan. I forget what it's called. Security. They didn't call me. They're
Chuck
lost.
wants to know. He says every time I press it, it comes out dark. What am I doing wrong? Maybe too high a temp.
Yeah, it could be too high of a temp, and sometimes sometimes it has everything to do with the product. Some flour just comes out darker, and some strains sometimes strain specific.
I have heard that.
Well, yeah, all of Dan's. When he presses that Ophelia, he says it comes out black, and it's real runny. It's really runny too, but it gets him fried. He says, man. Chuck likes this dude's brains. He says, Andy.
This is what I press. This is that Vikings milk that I just pressed, and this is cold cured. I just went over to the fridge and grabbed it, and as you can see, this is how it comes out.
Nice peanut butter.
That looks smooth.
Spread that on some bread and some jelly, and
but yeah, I 37 micron, about 160 to 165, sometimes 170, with a whole lot of warm ups, and then that final smash is about 90 seconds at full pressure. That's my method.
There he is. What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, Jim.
Connection issues.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What's up, Andy?
What's up, brother? What are you doing?
Actually, I just got done doing a bunch of pico I made from your product.
That's it. That outdoor.
Yeah, this is a CBD.
That makes really good. Like I was saying earlier, it makes great products. That outdoor does.
those terps.
Yeah, it does. It matters. Top shelf, you know it.
Top shelf.
So
I'm kind of short though.
Best, all right.
I might need those medium shelf terps. I'm a little short. Cheers, boys. I'm trying to clean up all the little bits left in my containers here.
Oh, you are down to nothing, man. Oh shit.
I got a couple carts.
You got plenty of flour too.
Oh yeah, I'm not hurting. The flour doesn't, flour's not good for my lungs.
Yeah,
That'd be much better for me.
Man. Wow, what a great show tonight. We got some knowledge up here on this screen right now, guys.
We had a better show.
I'll also add Andy's an admin on the Jim's inoculator page.
Oh, great.
So
Yeah,
if anybody wanted to pick his brain about growing or something and had a question and wanted to ask him specifically, you can find him there too.
Yeah, I swear by the Prime Superior. It's one of the best products I've ever found. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't say that it will make the bugs go away, but I can tell you that it keeps them Like once I had a problem, like they're gone for like a week, and then I'll see like a little bit, and it's not a bug repellent either, but yet it's getting them strong enough, just enough to like bat them away. And these are like little plants in my aquaponics system, so they're not really going to be big and strong enough to like come back all the way. But it's actually doing the trick right now. I also started getting those leaf cycle pouches too.
That prime, once it gets on there, doesn't it colonize the bugs themselves, right, Jim?
Yep, it actually turns the bug into the Bavaria bassiana.
Oh,
and then drops it into the soil.
That's the idea behind. That's the idea behind The Last of Us. The mutating like fungus,
kind of
taking over.
Oh, right.
They're only
when that show came out, I was like, oh shit, what if this fucking Prime Superior shit causes something like that to happen?
I mean, it is kind of funny because the mushrooms are the one thing that we don't have we can't make a vaccine for mushrooms. You know?
No.
Oh well.
But they will grow.
I love that show though. It was a good show. A lot of people say it didn't make sense.
I liked it.
I didn't play the game, so I couldn't tell you about that, but it was a game before that.
Yeah, I played the game a few years back. I remember playing it. I did play that one, and it was wild. And they made the series, and it was pretty cool too.
I got another question for you, Andy. What made you decide to not just to like jump in? I mean, I know you probably work with them still, but like, why aren't you part of the Queen Hive? Like, aren't you the VP of sales and canna research at the honey company? Or why you just want to jump, like, make your own, do your own thing? Or
I guess really my dad and my mom are pretty, they do most of the physical labor, and I do events and stuff like that. I love doing that, and it's great, but cannabis and helping people with medicinal cannabis products has always kind of been my passion. I had a buddy that I lost from cancer a few years ago, and I would help him at the last bit of his ride. He really found a lot of comfort in cannabis products I made for him, and that's after he passed, I kind of said to myself, I want to try to help anyone I can, especially to alleviate any kind of pain and just make the ride better at the end for him. That's kind of what always that's kind of been my driving force to kind of get out there with the products I'm trying to get out there with.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Just I thought maybe also that drive to be in the industry with the plant that you love, but I think there's a misconception. A lot of times people think that they if they do this, they'll love what they do, and it's still going to be work. You know what I mean? Like, so you must be, at some point it went from a hobby to a job, and so you're still sticking with it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people who think they can turn their passion into a job, sometimes it becomes like, oh shit, I don't like to do this anymore because now it's a job.
Because now it's a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of one of my big reservations with ever starting it was, am I gonna, because I was told in high school by my auto tech teacher, he said to me, Andy, do you love working on cars? And I said, yeah. And he goes, then don't do it for a living.
Right.
And that always stuck with me, because it's the truest thing a teacher ever told me. If you love something, don't do it for a living, because he goes, I used to love it too, and now I hate it. I hate working on it made sense. But I don't think I'll ever hate working with this plant. Right. as long as you keep it about the plant and not about your wallet, I don't think you could ever hate it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and for me, like, it wasn't that I never was like, I love plants and I love growing food or whatever. So it's definitely not my passion, but I forced myself to make it a hobby first, because they also say that if you try to jump straight into the business, the commercial side of it, you're going to fail. And I looked at this specifically for aquaponics. A lot of people said if you think you can just jump in and start growing food commercially, you're going to fail. You have to have some kind of a time or a passion behind it as well. So it's funny how they say not to follow your passion into business, but at the same time, they say if it's not something that you love as far as growing, then you're not going to get anywhere. It's so contradicting, isn't it? They say,
yeah.
And this is going off of real data where they say most people who started the business, if they weren't doing it as a hobby before, specifically on aquaponics, if they weren't doing this before, then they almost always failed if it wasn't a hobby first. So it's so funny how it contradicts.
Well, I could easily say that if I would have started this business 2 months after I started growing, I would have probably stopped growing and never had this business, because I could easily say, because, for almost quitting just being a hobbyist, I would have been like, nope, I'm folding this up. So I 100% agree that you have to put some time in and before you just put your feet in the water like that. Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with what you're saying.
It's almost like the internship time kind of. You have to put some time in where there's no money coming in for whatever it is. And I think growing in general is maybe the field that is best to have a hobby of it first. I mean, there are other things I guess you could just jump into, but Joe says if you're working for someone else, then you may end up hating it. But if you work for yourself, you will be fine and still like it, I'm sure. I don't know, Joe. I don't know about that. I don't know. A lot of people stop because they don't like it.
I think I'd be my hardest on myself as my boss.
Yeah. Well, I'm hard on myself, but it's more like I'll sit here, procrastinate, and just feel bad about it all day. I will know that I can. I don't know. It's hard, and that's one of the reasons the show is how it is. It's more about explaining the emotion behind it, the thoughts behind it, not just the 2 + 2 is 4 on the paper. Because there's a lot of informational videos. You can go to Google you can go to YouTube and basically search any very specific grow question. Like if you have a grow question about something and it's real specific, you can Google search it or search it on YouTube and find some multiple videos probably on different ideas of it or different ways to fix it or whatever. That's not this show. The show is let's all come along on the ride. Let's all do it, And I think I fully believe that no matter where you live, there are some small steps you can take towards sustainability. You can't take a full, leap, but you can do some things like a little house plant or reusing waste in some way or, So,
and we have a couple farmers markets here in Quincy, and they're popular, and that's good to see because 5 years ago they were ghosts. Going to be the only person. Now you see a lot more people. They wanna go get farm raised beefs and chickens. They want to go and get mushrooms from someone like Dan. That's starting to become more popular, and that's good to see. I'm hoping the trend continues.
I think it will. People getting more interested in where their nutrition comes from is getting bigger. So I see big podcasts that's not their topic, but they will get off talking about it sometimes. And some of these podcasters that I know of moved out of the cities. For instance, I watch Tim Pool a lot of times, and they moved out of the cities, moved to West Virginia. They now grow some of their own food. They have this whole chicken coop and stuff, and that has nothing to do with his content. He's just every now and then they'll mention they're doing this thing outside right now, and it's I see all these other people of success kind of going that direction as well. That's not their career, but they're going towards the sustainability side. And so I'm well, hell, we can make it popular by bringing the celebrities in on it, you know, like go and like once I get big enough, go and like interview Mike Tyson on his ranch and go and check out the you know, these big like celebrity gardens and make it really like popularize it, you know, make it something everyone thinks is cool. Like, oh yeah, well, I'm growing this. Oh yeah, what do you got growing? And it just
I would love to turn on my TV and it would be like a competition of like, oh yeah, well I've grown a bigger vegetable than you. That would be amazing.
Right. Like make farmers rock stars, man.
Good night, Michelle.
Good night, Michelle. Thank you for hanging out. Have a great Independence Day tomorrow. Someone said, "What are you doing for the 4th?" I said, "I celebrate Independence Day on the 4th."
That's right. Happy birthday, America.
Like, well, you get the joke there, though. Like, that's what they were calling. They were saying that as the holiday. Like, hey, what are you doing on the 4th? Like, all right, so there's a holiday I celebrate on the 4th.
Yeah.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves, man. It's the only holiday out there that you can think of that people that they have like the media and over time have kind of like eroded the name of it into just the date. There's really not many others that you can think of that's just the date.
You're not wrong. Never really thought about that.
I can't think of any others. It's just the date. It's like it's the only one that they don't want us to actually say the words, and it's not even that much more syllables. We talked about it yesterday, but it bears repeating. Got 9 people still hanging out, guys. Thanks for hanging out and chilling. We're just chilling. I'm just now meditating is all I'm doing, but thanks for all the thoughts. Because so here's the thing I want to compete with, Andy. I'll tell you, just give you a little glimpse into the future. So aquaponics farm indoors. Imagine like a Walmart-sized building. Imagine Willy Wonka's chocolate factory meets the Rainforest Cafe, right? And you go in there, and then there's also a gym in there, and the gym kind of overlooks the forest of plants. And the gym, everything in the gym is geared towards pumping water or generating electricity. Probably pumping water, because you pump water to a water tower, right? The water tower is fed into the entire aquaponics system. And kind of like Epcot does it, which I found out after I had these plans, but they don't do it like this. But they have a giant building like a mall, and there's an aquaponics system inside of it that sort of feeds all the different restaurants and stuff like that. So my plan though is to create a exercise system where the people that come in, they're helping to pump water to the water tower, which then generates hydroelectricity. And so what we do is we end up paying people to work out at the gym, a percentage of the energy that they're producing. And so then you create a surplus of green energy and a surplus of water through rainwater, snow, all sorts of ways you can collect water and clean it through the system, through the aquaponics system, because it comes out through the end as fairly clean drinkable water. And then you got the food, all of those things combined. But what you could do is you could create a competition behind the exercise equipment. So you get all these athletes and stuff, and you make it digitalized. There's a screen, right? A big screen behind them, and it's showing how much energy, Andy is generating versus Steve-O, who's next to him over here, and the screen looks like a video game, right? But you're both on exercise bikes, and maybe you're both triathlons, and you guys are big actors who The Rock and one of his rivals are having fun, and they may do one of these charity like competitions or whatever it is. But like you popularize, make it a sport even. Oh, who's generated the most green energy this year? Who's the top person on the bike? Who's the top person on the elliptical? Who's the top person on this other thing? Whatever, and make multiple, all sorts of exercise equipment, all generating electricity. And then you promote it by incentivizing people, not by saying, hey, you need to exercise. Hey, you need to eat well. No, you promote it by incentivizing people, right? That's how people work. You
incentivize gladiators.
You incentivize them by giving them a cut. So right now we pay money to gyms for us to go and spend energy there. Like we literally pay for us to go and push our energy out into the room. Like it just goes to nothing. It gets wasted there. We pay to waste our energy, but we should be using that energy at least in supplement. It may not generate, it may not even make a surplus. Who knows? My point is, it would make a supplement. And I think if you were told, hey, if you go to the gym, you'll get in shape. Not a lot of people, like tons of people, will pay for the gym membership and not go or whatever, right? But how do you get them to actually go? Because what we need people to be a little more fit as well. You get them to go by saying, hey, if you go so many times, your gym membership's free, because we'll charge the membership. But if you don't ever go, you're getting charged. But if I tell you, Andy, you go this 5 times a week, you get to this point or whatever the measurements are, you've now paid for your membership, and if you go any more than that, we're gonna send you a check for whatever the percentage of the remainder. And so you end up telling people they're going to save the planet by creating green energy. So you're going to pull in those types of people who want to help the energy cause. You're going to pull in people who actually need the exercise because they're going to be incentivized by some cash. And you're going to pull in the people who actually do go to the gym and work out because they don't want to have to pay for their membership, or actually the people who can't afford memberships. That's who you're also going to pull in. People who go to the gym but pay for it somewhere else would probably recognize the benefit pretty quickly, right? Oh, well, it's free, plus I get money, plus it's the thing I already do. Like, so, I mean, it would be incentivizing the maximum amount of people to go and exercise. Anyway, it's a thought. I don't know if might be a pie in the sky dream, but
I'm not gonna lie, that's an extremely good idea, man. Like,
yeah, and every one of us
honestly,
take it. You can all take it. Everyone here take it. You all make one.
The whole concept of the gym producing power that's incredibly intelligent.
It makes sense.
Smart.
We
It's
waste
really-
power. Every gym is just a bunch of wasted power.
I always wondered why they didn't use our sewer systems that are constantly moving to somehow generate power.
You don't want to slow that down.
Yeah, I did. That's what I was wondering, if that's what it was, or if there was any way, like when it, or the water that flowed to. We have like a, I just didn't know. There's always some way to use water.
Okay, I'll give you the way. Everything that is made, every waste from plants or animals turns into methane. And that's one way I plan it. That's another way. So you take the gym, you add solar panels, you add wind, you add some methane, you add some, whatever, a creek nearby, you put them all together, right? You do them all. But as far as the waste goes, instead of us dumping waste out into the ocean or whatever, that literal shit should be collected and the methane should be captured, kind of like they're starting to do at our dumps. You know how it used to be that you go by a dump late at night, and sometimes there'd just be these big like flames
burning.
Yeah, and they just would be burning the methane
release.
We have like, what are you doing?
We have one right outside of town that when you drive by, it's just a blue torch at night all the time. It's an old landfill they buried.
Chuck Rock, no, they don't. They don't, but that's my plan, man. Every plan I have for my company is a win-win scenario. Let me incentivize you to do this. Like, I plan on having a cafe inside there, but I don't want to run it, and I don't want to charge someone to rent to use it. I want them to use my produce, and when we feed each other. And in both businesses, it's a symbiotic type relationship. You pay for your overhead, you pay for electric inside the cafe and all that, your equipment, but you won't have to pay rent. I also you were talking about farmers markets earlier. I cannot for the life of me get my ass to a farmers market. The one in East Peoria is once a week. I think it's like 4 hours on Fridays. I think, well, this is my other plan, and again, another plan that I am freely giving to anyone. I plan to make my indoor farm, my living grocery store, a 7-day-a-week, all year long farmers market. And you may have booths in there that are empty at times. Guess what? There's a farm right inside that's going to be all year long. So what I would do is I would play off of the local growers on their strengths and weaknesses. So anyway, I'm done giving you guys all my good ideas. But that's I plan to have a farmers markets that are much more solid and like all the time.
Yeah.
But
we have one on Saturday morning that goes for like 5 hours, and then we have another one that's twice a week in a different parking lot. So we actually have 3 different farmers markets
That's crazy.
per week.
Well, I'm sure there's a bunch
Yeah.
around me, within like 20-minute drive from East Peoria. That's one thing about Groveland. And we're getting a little local conversation now, everybody. Hit those reactions if you haven't already. But anyway, Groveland is so centralized. I don't know if you come up to Peoria area very much, but Jimmy knows what I'm talking about. Groveland, if I can get somewhere like a piece of land out in that spot, you're set right in that smack dab of like 8 different like major like sort of towns in this area, but it's crazy. Anyway, cheers, guys. Let's see what time. Well, we're coming up to that 2-hour mark, so I actually do want to play the locals tutorial for you guys. If anybody doesn't know how to get over there to the website, this is it. All right. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Let's see if I can say them all in succession. True Healthcare and Wellness, Soil Focused Farms, Great River Mushrooms, Grow Fam, Leaf Cycle. We're going to have another one coming soon. And, through Grow Fam, we have Hydro Farm, we have Foop, we have the Wizard Tea, we have several things going on through Grow Fam. And yeah, again, very soon, within a couple weeks, I think we're going to be adding another one. Steve-O, gonna get another local guy in on this. So very cool. Andy, thanks again, brother, for coming on. Appreciate it.
Great River Mushrooms. Don't forget them.
I said him.
Oh, did you? Oh, my fault.
Did anyone hear me? I'm pretty sure I said. I didn't think that part, did I?
Same.
Sorry, Valerie. I should Valerie, for you, I'm going to remake it. And I'll lower the volume on it because it is kind of scary all of a sudden there. Jimmy, coming up, bro. Andy, you have anything you want to shout out at the end here, my friend?
Yeah, man. I guess a big shout out, honestly, to Rosebuds, who's helped me out a ton.
You're here.
Building the community in Quincy. I think sometimes grow shops are overlooked when it comes to a community center, and Rosebuds is just that for us. It's a place where a lot of us, have our products, and just a lot of us conjugate to have a good time and do our thing and try each other's smoke and talk about methods and techniques and learn a lot. So it's a good environment. And man, honestly, big shout out to Jim right on the screen, dude. I've learned so much from that man in 5 years that I've known him that has made me not even a good grower, but a good cannabis person.
Advocate.
I guess a better person in this culture.
Sure.
So
That's
I
right.
appreciate him right there, man, to be honest.
Thank you, Andy.
Maybe we should just try and get Big Jim on to, next week as our third chair. I don't think you've been on officially is that yet, Jimmy, but we'll talk to you. Steve-O, send us home, brother.
Smoke weed every day.
Have a happy Independence Day, everybody.